Hello and welcome along to Edge Animate with your host Robert Smith. In this part 4 of creating an animated logo, we're going to add some typography, but let's have a look at what we've got so far. We can always press the space bar and test it in the environment, inside the Edge Animate environment. It's looking good. But if you want to actually see this in a browser, we could go up here under File, Preview in Browser like that. Click on here. And you'll notice it takes up the whole browser. And as I drag my browser, you'll notice how it gets smaller. That's the responsive scaling kicking in, I should say. And that's going to be very useful when it's viewed in a mobile phone or a smaller area, if you like, that responsive scaling. And how we did that, of course, let's remind ourselves. So I clicked over here anywhere to get away from objects on the stage. And here you'll see responsive scaling. Make sure that's ticked. Okay, another thing I want to do before I put the typography in is to change the order of the layers. Like right now we can see the fact that they're being generated from the bottom like that, and that's what this little pink layer is all about. So I'm going to unlock the pink layer like that. Now to change layers, you'd think you would grab it here and drag it up like you would in After Effects or Flash, but no. In Edge Animate, we have to use something called the elements up here on the right hand side. So I'm going to grab that pink rectangle, I should say, and drag it up here like that. Now we don't want to go in there. I went inside. Watch, that's the trap for young. Make sure you drag it far enough up. Okay. Now let's watch it. Okay, that's much better. They're coming from behind that pink rectangle because it's the top layer. I'm going to lock that layer. I've done everything I want with that. And I'm going to lock these 3 layers too because they're finished for the moment. Okay, now to add some typography in Edge Animate is a bit tricky, or it's a bit different, I should say. First of all, I'm going to go up here and select the Type tool and click on the stage, and then we get this dialog box to type in the text we want to actually apply. Normally in something like, for example, After Effects, you'd click on the stage and you would go straight onto the stage, but we have to go in through this box. Now the word I want is Digit Guy, like that. You pick any font you like and just close that box, and it defaults to black like that. So I'm going to change that. Now you notice as I click on that, all my properties over here have changed, or there's a whole lot of new properties that are associated. For example, the typography over here, I'm going to make that a lot bigger. Digit Guy like that. And I might move along a little bit along my timeline because I really want that Digit Guy to be about the same width, and I want to put it down here like this. Now I want to pick a font. If I want to pick a font like this, I can go in here and pick some of the web safe fonts like that, or I can add a font if I like, but I'll leave it at that font. Arial will do, or maybe Arial Black. Okay, we'll go with Arial Black because it's one of the web safe fonts, and I'll just drop the point size by dragging this over here to about that size, and I'll change the color to white like that. Okay, great. So now I've got that. Very, very good, and that's where I want it to be. You know, it's called itself text, so I'll just double click on that and call it Digit Guy like that. Fantastic. Now what I want that to happen is I want that to fade in as the logo animates in. Okay, to do that I'm going to go back to the start like this. I'm going to establish, I've got my auto keyframe and auto transition turned on. I'm going to go back to Digit Guy like this, right back at the start. Now the actual opacity is under the visible section up here, so I'm going to put a keyframe in there like that, and I'm going to drop this back to 0. And as it comes together like that, in fact I really don't want that to happen until the whole thing comes together like that. So I'm just going to grab this and just drag it along a little bit to about here, that first keyframe. Then I'm going to drag it along a little bit here and drop my opacity up to 100 like that. So let's have a look at that. So it comes on, and then the type actually fades in underneath. Very nice indeed. Okay, so that's basically it. There's our basic animated logo, but we want more than that. We want it to keep looping and over time, and to do that we're going to have to add some what they call triggers in Edge Animate, and a little bit of scripting. Now don't be too scared, it's quite easy, and we'll do that in the next video.